Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new around here, my name is Katie. I'm a full-time sketchbook artist, and today I'm going to be showing you my watercolour palette. So watercolour is a new medium for me this year. I'll leave a link to the video where I first started out trying out watercolour, and I've been using it a lot in 2025, and I have just upgraded my palette. This is the size I was using before. And as you can see, it was very well loved, but it was a lot smaller. So I've definitely fallen down the rabbit hole of watercolours and built up my collection now. So I needed to upgrade the palette. And I do feel very lucky to be able to do so. Obviously, art is my job, and I'm really excited by this medium. But I do have lots of different brands, and you can see some of them here, but I really want to film a video where I talk through all of the new colours, because I do get asked this quite a lot now that I am using watercolour more often. I bought this new palette from Jackson's Art, so I'll leave a link down below, and a lot of the watercolours were from there too. As you can see, it's not as well loved as the other one because I've just upgraded to this one, but you can see all the different colours here. So I'll walk you through it, mention all of the different brands that I'm using because I'm not brand loyal, and I'm still finding my way with it. But I do feel like this is good for me for now. I don't feel like there's anything missing, and I'm really happy with the selection. If you saw my Japan haul last week as well, a few of these are from there, and I've still got plenty of those colours as well. So I've got enough to see me through, I think. I think I'm good for now, and I'm really excited to share this with you. So one thing that I did in my previous palette was take off the rails. So that's what these are. You can see they look like this. And this was a recommendation from you guys when I was starting my watercolour journey to just pluck them off. And that way you can pull out your watercolours like this and keep it nice and clean. And that's exactly what I did here. So if I wanted to, it's a little bit more tight on this one. Here we go. So I can just lift this out and it makes it easier to clean. And also if I wanted to, I could have extra mixing space, but I rarely do that, but I do find that really helpful, and I found these quite fiddly. I know that the pans do fit in there, but I just prefer doing it like this. And I've added magnets to the back of all of these, so they just slot into there, and I can also move them around as I wish, but at the moment I'm happy with this setup. I've also made a little illustration in my Strathmore Sketchbook just to fill out as we're talking through, so it's a little bit more interesting for you to watch, and I'll label these as we go, and I'm just going to do probably some blending and bigger swatches at the end here. So that was quite a long rambly intro, but let's get to it and I can share with you all of the colours in my watercolour palette. So the way I've got this set up at the moment is blues and purples at one end, then going into green, browns, yellows, oranges, reds, pinks. So trying to keep that colour wheel going down in my palette. First up we have got Daniel Smith Indigo. I do really like Daniel Smith paints, but they are more expensive here in the UK. So this is a really nice deep blue. I use this quite a lot as my sort of shadow tone, so I mix this quite regularly in with other colours to darken things up and make darker tones. So I do really find that I use this one quite a lot. I know that it's a little bit harder to see the colours at that size, so I'm also going to do some wetter colours over here. So that's Daniel Smith Indigo. The ink that I've used here is waterproof ink, but I'm just going to use a non-waterproof ink pen to label these up. I just needed it to be waterproof for me to put my watercolour on top. This one is Manganese Blue by Holbein. This one I do mix quite a lot with green, but it's very, very bright. You can see it's very different from the indigo to the left of it. I rarely use this straight. This one is always a mixing colour for me. So sometimes I'll use this for skies if I do it really, really translucent, I suppose. But mostly I use it to mix in with my greens. And next to the indigo. Okay, so there was a little bit of green already in my palette, so it's not quite as clean as it can look, but you can definitely see the colour there. Just going to let that dry whilst I do the next one. This is a full pan, so mostly I have got a lot of half pans. This one is full pan. This one is by Szmal. This one's called Lavender. Now this is one that I do often use as it is. This is a really, really nice bluey purple, and I'm really, really happy with this colour. I also really do like Szmal paints. I'm pretty sure they're bound with honey, so I do find them a little bit more opaque than the other watercolours I've got. And as someone who comes from a gouache background, I found these really, really nice to use, and I love that colour. There we go. You can see the difference there and how the water reacted to it. So it's much more opaque than the other ones. And I know that's personal preference with watercolour, but I really like it. Okay, let's just label up the other ones. A lot of these were recommended to me by all of you as well, so it's been really helpful getting your recommendations, especially as a massive watercolour newbie. You can see there as well where it's really starting to bloom, which I really like. Next up we have another Holbein. This is Prussian blue. Again, I use blues. Sometimes I will use them for water, but I mostly mix these in with some of my greens. I do have quite a lot of greens because I am a landscape and nature-based artist. I have tried to get a mix of mid, light and dark tones in my palette as well, and warm and cool colours. I had a lot of help from you guys to try and make sure that I had a lot of warm and cool colours in my palette as well, which was really, really useful. These two I think are quite cool blues. This is a very warm blue, the lavender. So that one's the Holbein Prussian blue. And here's a bigger swatch. Okay, my last blue is by Art. This is Ultramarine. This was actually a freebie that I got in store when I bought some Posca pens. I know there are so many different shades, different colours, different brands, so I know that Ultramarine can vary a little bit from the brands, but this is the one that I have. This one is much warmer than the blue to the left. And again, I think this is great for water. I do use it with my greens. And I can also water it down quite a lot to make my skies. So if I pop it here next to this one, you'll be able to see how much warmer it is. Next up we have Wisteria by Daniel Smith. A lot of my Daniel Smith paints are in tubes, but this one was in the half pan. This is a really lovely lilac, definitely more pink toned. I love using this for flowers. I think that pairs really beautifully with the lavender above as well. So I'll just label those two up. Just that one sort of pinky purple. We're moving on to greens next. This was actually a mix that I made, which was inspired by Liz Steele, who also created a green like this on her blog. This is Ultramarine, so the Art Ultramarine, and the Hansa Yellow Medium, which we haven't come on to yet, but that's by Daniel Smith. This one's been well loved. I'm already going quite far down the pan on this one, but I really like this green. It's a little bit cooler than normal, but I do find this is great for when I'm like painting forests and trees, and it mixes beautifully with more yellow as well. You can really see there where the yellow is starting to show through. So I definitely mixed that colour again. Really enjoyed using that one. Now we have another green. This was kindly sent to me by someone who's on my Patreon called Sylvi. She makes homemade watercolours. I'll leave a link, as I said, to all of the brands and shops down below. This one is called Sylvi's Olive. This is quite a foresty green. To me this isn't very olive, but I really, again, like using this one for cooler toned greens. It's quite a full pan as well, but I really like having the variation of cool and warm toned greens in my watercolour palette. So you can see this one's a little bit more yellow toned. Next we have Winsor Newton Perylene Green. Again, another cool tone. So I'm trying to keep my cool and warmer toned greens together so I can tell what's what in my palette. Because they are labelled, but obviously I can only see the labels when I take them out. So it helps me to group them together. So that's slightly darker than the green on the left. A really lovely cool green there. You can definitely see, I suppose that one's not very warm, but this one is definitely cool toned. Next we have another one from Sylvi's Watercolour. This one is Sylvi's Moss Green. I'm going to try and do these a little bit quicker because I am aware this is taking a while. I thought this would be a really quick video this week, but I just love talking about art supplies. So yes, this one I absolutely love. Really lovely warm toned green. Next up is by Schmincke or Schmincke. This one is Olive Green Yellow. Again, another one that I've used quite a lot and I'm getting pretty close to the bottom. These are the types of green I absolutely love, really warm toned greens. It's kind of similar to the one on the left, but it's a little bit more yellow toned. Oh, I think I'm getting a bit big with my swatches. I might have to go smaller so I can fit them all on the page. Oh, I like how that pairs. I've accidentally splashed a bit of green there, but I like how that pairs with the wisteria. That's a nice combination. Next up is Daniel Smith Undersea Green. Again, another similar one in terms of sort of warm toned olive, but it's a little bit darker. Next we have a row of full pans. First up is Roman Szmal Nickel Azo Yellow. This one is more like a sort of dirty yellow. It's definitely got a tone of olive in it, but you can definitely see there how it could be mixed in with the green, so I often use this mixed in with some of the ones above. It also goes really light to a yellow as well if you're using a lot of water with it. I don't have anyone at all like that one, so that to me is really unique. You see how it kind of goes a little bit more lemon yellow when it's mixed with more water, compared to over here where it's a little bit more brown. Another green here. I do love my greens. I kind of mix them all in together. This is a new brand for me that I picked up recently. This is by Rosa Gallery. This one is 713 Olive Green. I've never tried Rosa Gallery before, but I saw this in my local art shop and wanted to give it a go. I guess I've got quite a lot of olive greens here, so I could swap one of them out and put in any other colours. So let me know if you think something's missing. So I definitely have quite a lot of these that I feel like I could maybe get rid of one of them. Maybe I don't need them all. And then another kind of wild card one we've got in here, which is a Roman Szmal Cobalt Teal. I really love this turquoise. I did find I was missing a turquoise in my palette, which is why I've added this one in. I couldn't mix turquoise myself, so I found this really helpful. It's such a lovely, vibrant and opaque colour. Next I have a yellow, which is sitting next to a green, because this is like my dirty yellow. That was another idea I got off Liz Steele. So I use this one for mixing into my greens, and then I have a clean yellow which I have down the bottom of my palette. So this will probably come out kind of dirty and not an accurate colour of the yellow because there is a lot of green already in here and I have hit pan. Yes, definitely more limey than it actually would be, but that's because it's very well loved. This one is Hansa Yellow Medium by Daniel Smith. I'm going to label that one as dirty. Next we have a super vibrant green, which is Holbein Leaf Green. This is lovely. I've been using this one a lot. Okay, next up, I'm just going to go down one actually to this other yellow rather than complete the row. This one is Bismuth Yellow, or Bismuth Yellow by Roman Szmal, so another full pan here. This is a sort of a lemon yellow. It's very cool yellow. More yellow toned than the leaf green, but pretty similar in terms of the tone. I've got that up by the greens because I do use it mixed in with the other greens, again to lighten it. Okay, so now I'm moving on to my neutrals and my browns. So we've got Schmincke Buff Titanium. This one does have white in it, so it's very opaque, but I use this a lot for my neutrals. I find this a really handy colour to have in my palette. You can see there just how opaque this one is. Then we have Schmincke Potter's Pink. I thought I would use this as a pink tone, but I definitely use it more as a brown tone. It's a really lovely warm colour. It's kind of leaning towards purple almost. Definitely a reddish purple brown. Certainly looks more pink when it's mixed with a lot more water. Next up is Daniel Smith Raw Sienna. This one is from the Praful Savant Master Artist set. This is a really nice colour on its own, but I also do mix it up with quite a lot of the other colours in my palette. This one's just really helpful, I think, to have. I use it quite a lot in my gouache. Next up is Burnt Sienna Light, also by Daniel Smith. Again, another one that I've hit pan on. This is another really useful mixing colour for me. It's slightly warmer than the Raw Sienna Light. It looks very different swatch than it does in the pan, so I really recommend swatching your colours before you use them to see what colour they actually come out like. This one's more red toned. Next up we have Holbein Yellow Ochre. This is from the set my sister bought me from Japan, so I've only used it a handful of times, but again, it's a really lovely mixing shade and perfect for nature as well. All 4 of these, you can see how they work nicely together, and quite warm shades. Now we're moving on to our reds, oranges and pinks. First up we have Pyrrole Orange. This is by Daniel Smith. Really lovely vibrant orange. Again, mostly I use this for mixing. Definitely leans more towards red, I think, to me, than orange. Really vibrant colour. Really liking how the swatch page is looking as well. Okay, next up is Quinacridone Red, also by Daniel Smith. I bought a set of the Daniel Smiths because they had a lot of the colours that I wanted in my starting set, and I do really like their formulation. So this is a really lovely red. It's quite pink when you mix it with water as well, which you can see in the bigger swatch. And to me that's quite a cool red. Okay, then we have Quinacridone Magenta. This is by Winsor and Newton. This was a recommendation from you guys to have a more split complementary palette. So again, another pink toned red. Really cool toned red, this one. Kind of like a fuchsia to me. A very fun mixing colour, and also if I want to do some really bright florals. Okay, then I'm going to go underneath for the other 2 pinks I have in my palette. So next up is another Sylvi's watercolour. This is Chinese Vermilion. This is a lovely pink. Really warm toned, this one. Next up we have Opera Rose. This is by Schmincke. So another cool toned red here. Very, very neon. I use this to paint some peonies and it is just so vibrant. But I also know that you can use Opera Pink as a mixing colour, which is something I want to explore. That's the only Schmincke colour I have as a pan. The other ones I have as a tube. You can see how vibrant that is. Really stands out. And actually, as the Quinacridone red has dried, that's coming out a bit more purple. Okay, I'm kind of going backwards on this row, but we have gotten into the yellows. So first up we have New Gamboge by Daniel Smith. Looks more orange toned when it's a bit more saturated on my brush. This is a really nice yellow, lovely and warm. Like sunshine yellow, I describe this one as. Underneath that we have the Hansa Yellow Medium again. This one is also Daniel Smith, but this is my clean one, so I use this with my oranges and my reds, or I use it on its own. I don't mix this with my greens because that's what my dirty one is for. This one is cooler than the New Gamboge above, but can definitely be warmed up with some of my other shades. Next up we have another Holbein one, again from the set that my sister bought me from Japan. This one's Permanent Yellow Light. This one to me is kind of in between. I should probably swap those around actually and have this above. So the Hansa Yellow Medium's the bottom one because this one's slightly warmer. A really lovely yellow. I'm going to put that next to the other ones. I'm running out of room here, but I'll just put that there next to my other yellows. Okay, and then the last 2 are both new colours, again that I bought at my local art shop, which are by Rosa Gallery. So this first one is Naples Yellow Light, 745. I use Naples Yellow a lot in gouache, so I was really keen to try this one out. And it's a lovely buttery yellow. Really nice to have a light tone. Again, these are quite opaque. Just going to squeeze that in at the bottom here. I'm going to try my best not to get that too dirty, because that's such a lovely colour. Definitely didn't leave enough space on my page, but hopefully you can see that okay. Okay, and then the very final colour in my palette is Rosa Gallery Naples Rose. This one really caught my eye. I love the tone of it. It's almost like the apricot near colour. It's a really lovely colour, very different to the other ones I've got in my collection. I'm looking forward to using that more. Okay, again I'm going to try and squeeze that at the bottom here. So a very warm orangey pink. Okay, there we go, there's my finished spread. Definitely went a little bit tight on the swatches here on the left, but this is really satisfying to me. I have got a very messy desk now, as you can see. I didn't put them back as I went, but luckily I've got this now to refer to. I really hope you found that helpful. I do get a lot of questions, so hopefully this will be something we can both refer back to be able to easily see the colours in my palette. Do let me know what you think down below. As I said, I am still totally new to this medium, but I'm having so much fun with it and love using it in my sketchbooks. A big thank you to my patrons for their support. Without them, I wouldn't be able to make these 3 videos here on YouTube every week and also buy these watercolours. And a big thank you to you for watching. I will see you next Sunday in my new YouTube video. See you later!